On the night of April 3, 2025, in an operation lasting exactly 44 hours, 6 U.S. Air Force B-2 Spirit strategic bombers left the Diego Garcia base in the Indian Ocean and flew more than 2,400 miles to deliver a precision strike on the Houthi underground facility in the Yemeni capital Sanaa. More than just an airstrike, this is a moment where technology, strategy, and national will converge. A wordless but powerful warning sent to the entire region, especially Iran. A bomb can destroy a bunker, but a wise strategy can shake an entire nation. That's exactly what's happening after America's 44-hour precision airstrike on Yemen. On the surface, it was a direct response to the launch of surface-to-air missiles against the US F-16. But if one only looks at that surface, one will miss the more important part. The real target lies further east, Iran. The 6 B-2s were not just carrying out a single military mission. They are part of dual strategy that the Pentagon carefully designed. As these planes flew overnight through international airspace, they not only carried 30,000-pound GBU-57 bombs, which can penetrate more than 60 meters of concrete, but also a message. We can go anywhere, anytime, and no one can stop us. In the increasingly chaotic context of the Middle East after the Hamas-Israel conflict in October 2023, Houthi forces, believed to be backed by Iran, conducted more than 30 attacks on commercial and military ships in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, threatening more valuable maritime routes. 17 billion USD per month. Each of their attacks is not only aimed at the US, but at the entire global trading system. That forces Washington to change its approach. There are no longer sporadic airstrikes like under Biden. The April 3rd attack is one clear turning point. Use strategic weapons to reimpose the rules of the game. The target is Houthi, but the problem is Iran. Because if Tehran finds that even its modern air defense system cannot detect the B-2, then any nuclear facility hidden deep underground will no longer be an absolutely safe place. And in that same moment, on Iran's radar screen, nothing shows up. This campaign not only demonstrates technological power, but is also a diplomatic exercise in the language of pressure and choice. Either Iran backs down or accepts that the ghost of B-2 is always very close, even though the naked eye cannot see it. Perhaps never before has the power of technology been demonstrated as clearly as in this campaign. As darkness covered the skies over the Middle East, the whole world, including the defense chiefs in Tehran, had to admit one truth. The B-2 Spirit is not just an aircraft, but a symbol of the 21st century, the terror of all modern air defense systems. Imagine a plane with a wingspan of 52 meters, shaped like a giant needle leaf gliding through the sky, with absolutely no tail. A design that is almost impossible with traditional aviation physics. But America has made the impossible possible, turning the boldest ideas of the Cold War into a real entity, flying quietly in the sky at an altitude of only a few hundred feet without ever appearing on radar. What makes an invincible ghost? It's not just the strange shape or the invisible coating. It's the will to constantly innovate, not accepting limits. The B-2 Spirit is made from radar-absorbing composite materials. Each detail is designed to maximize radar signal dispersion. Its outer shell has no sharp edges, no unnecessary right angles to reflect waves. In particular, the advanced fly-by-wire system allows stable control, making this giant aircraft as light as a bird's wing in all weather conditions. The excitement of the team of engineers, pilots, and even global military watchers seemed to burst every time the B-2 appeared. Each mission was an absolute display of precision. The B-2 could drop a 30,000-pound GBU-57 bunker-piercing bomb at the exact designated location from altitudes undreamt of by conventional aircraft. It can even carry nuclear weapons, becoming a trump card not only in military terms, but also in deterrent diplomacy. With every B-2 takeoff, the world has to ask, what will happen next? Who can really confront this power? The appearance of the B-2 not only makes the enemy wary, but also arouses pride and inspiration in the constant innovation spirit of America, a country that always knows how to turn challenges into opportunities, turning limits into the beginning of a new chapter in the history of modern military technology. Technological perfection is only truly valuable when proven on the battlefield, and on the dark night of April 3rd, the B-2 Spirit did it in a more convincing way. No air defense system had time to react. No signs on Yemeni or Iranian radar recorded the presence of 6 ghosts approaching from a height close to the ground. And when the first GBU-57 bunker buster left the containment compartment, the battlefield has changed direction. Forever. As precise as a surgeon's scalpel, the attack hit the Houthi forces' missile control center in the capital Sanaa. It is an underground facility that has operated in secret for many years, where it is believed to store ammunition, navigation equipment, and components for attacks on the Red Sea. According to reports from international news agencies, at least 3 consecutive explosions shook an entire residential area on the outskirts of the city. But what is noteworthy is not the number of casualties, but in something even bigger: strategic impact beyond Yemen. Iran, the country suspected of sponsoring and advising the Houthis, witnessed the entire operation in silence. Radar stations, which were designed to detect long-range threats, were completely defeated by the B-2's stealth technology. This not only startled Tehran, but forced them to completely re-evaluate nuclear defense strategy. The question being asked in the Middle East is, if Sanaa, the Houthi command center, can be attacked without a warning signal, then are Natanz or Fordo, 2 of Iran's key nuclear facilities, really safe? The reaction from defense experts in Tel Aviv, Riyadh, and Brussels was of the same tone: concern and admiration. Not because of destructive power, but because of salvation precision and invincibility that B-2 represents. A weapon that does not need escort aircraft, does not need electronic jamming, can still penetrate deeply and retreat without a trace. That is something beyond all modern warfare standards. And that's also why America doesn't need to say much. Actions have replaced warnings. An airstrike, but a blow to the opponent's confidence, defense ability, and strategic psychology. The B-2 doesn't just destroy a target, it redefining the entire concept of air superiority in the modern era. When the smoke from the airstrike subsided, what remained was not just piles of rubble on the outskirts of Sanaa, but a clear message spreading across the Middle East. The United States is not just reacting, but is resetting the rules of the game. And in that chessboard, B-2 Spirit is the queen. Not noisy, not sensational, but each appearance is a long-term strategic step forward. It is no coincidence that the Pentagon still prioritizes maintaining and upgrading the B-2 despite plans to launch the B-21 Raider. For the US, the B-2 is not just a weapon, but a symbol. Icon for the ability to preemptively attack with absolute accuracy, even in areas with the most rugged terrain and densest defense systems. Icon for the perfect combination of technology, strategic thinking, and long-term vision. Because maintaining air superiority requires not only strength, but also timely silence. Something the B-2 does better than any other aircraft ever built. From a strategic perspective, the B-2 campaign in Yemen also opens a new chapter in the way the United States shows its commitment to its allies, not through words, but through actions. In an era where threats come not only from the ground, but also from cyberspace, the B-2 represents a dual weapon: deter with presence, protect with strength. But what makes the B-2 truly valuable isn't just its technology or stealth, which lies in, it makes the opponent think again. Rethink shelter, the limits of radar, and even survival strategies in a war where you never know when a ghost will appear above your head. So what do you think? If a vehicle can fly 44 hours without stopping, traveling 4,800 miles round trip without anyone detecting it, is there any limit? Just imagine if that ghost not in the Middle East, but heading towards another hotspot in the world. What would you do if you were the decision maker? Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. In a world full of turmoil, we believe that understanding correctly, understanding deeply, is the first step to looking ahead and thinking big. If today's content gives you something new or food for thought, don't hesitate to leave a comment or share your perspective. And if you want to accompany us in the next analysis, a channel subscription will be a great motivation for us to continue spreading valuable information every day. See you in the next video.